Welcome to the KMOX Business Owner Speaker Series, presented by The Hartford.
Everybody knows that he's respected for the chances that he's taken in revitalizing our city. You know, it's Blueberry Hill, the Tivoli, Pinup Bowl, the pageant I mentioned. He started the Walk of Fame, which recognizes all the great St. Louisans and their accomplishments. He has almost single-handedly brought back the Loop and made it one of the American Planning Association's 2007 Great Streets in America. Now, good news for everybody here, he's moving downtown. He opened Flamingo Bowl on Wash Avenue in December. He's currently in the process of constructing the Moonrise Hotel. And today, I think we're very lucky to hear his story. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joe Edwards.
It's a pleasure being here. Thanks a lot for having me. I think I'll start by giving just a short history of the Loop in Del Mar. Around the time of the 1904 World's Fair is when the first buildings started getting built. Blueberry Hill opened in 1972, and at the time, Del Mar was kind of down and out, to be real polite. I mean, it had really gone down. About half the storefronts were either vacant or had Venetian blinds on the windows. What was going on in the area is that there were a lot of not so great people, and within a week of opening, I mean, people on the streets and stuff, within a week of opening, I realized that if Blueberry Hill were to succeed, I was going to really have to work on the whole area and start organizing the merchants. So we formed kind of a loose-knit merchants organization, talked to the police, the fire, people at City Hall, and just kind of said, you know, let's try to turn the corner on it and start bringing the area back. City Hall was open-minded about it, the council was open-minded to a degree, but they were a little skeptical about me, I guess, and the concept of having a restaurant with a liquor license back again, so they wouldn't give a liquor license in the beginning. Had opened with a 3.2% beer license, which most people haven't even heard of. I think the younger people here anyway. I mean, I didn't know what I wanted to do in life at the time I opened it. I substitute taught in city schools, wrote music reference books for Billboard magazine, and just had a big record collection. I figured, oh heck, you know, I need to do something in life. So I figured I'd open a place where I felt comfortable and could program the jukebox and put up a lot of collections of pop culture memorabilia that I collected. I hope that people enjoyed it. And they did, but it was slow coming. And then almost went out of business 3 times in the first 2 years, literally. And one of the biggest reasons was that I banned for life 2/3 of our customers. They were horrible. Well, in 1988, I founded the nonprofit St. Louis Walk of Fame for 2 reasons. One, I just really wanted to draw attention to great St. Louisans, let people around the country know, as well as people in St. Louis know, how many great people came from this city. I mean, more people came from this city than just about any metropolitan area, even ones much bigger than we are. Partly, in my opinion, because not only were we the gateway to the west, and that whole east to west migration was occurring, but the whole south to north migration was occurring at the same time. And so all people from all cultures and backgrounds were meeting up in St. Louis, getting exposed to each other's literature and music and all, and just it was this collision of cultures, and the resultant explosion was just this explosion of creativity. Great, I mean, you know, Scott Joplin, the greatest in ragtime, Chuck Berry, the father of rock and roll, Miles Davis, it goes on and on, just in music, and then greats in literature like Tennessee Williams, T.S. Eliot, and all the Walk of Fame people are listed in the brochure also, so you get an idea of the greats. So it's to draw attention to the great St. Louisans, and then also to have a unifying attraction so that people would walk up one side of the street and down the other and get exposed to all the stores and kind of get familiar with the neighborhood and comfortable. In 1994, I picked up the Post-Dispatch one day, and there was a photograph, the headline photograph was of the Tivoli movie theater box office window, and it had a handwritten sign and it said, "Closed forever." And that just went through my heart, because that building was going to be torn down, and it was historically significant, it was architecturally significant, and if that 4-story building, which is a real large one for that area, would have been torn down, I think it would have been hard for the Loop to continue to keep progressing and getting better. It might have stayed there, but it would never have been as exciting or become as exciting as it is now. And Up to that time, I had not done any development except for Blueberry Hills building, just more as a protective thing. Didn't know really about it. It was more organizing, doing special events and organizing people in the loop. But I knew I had enough money to buy the building itself. I didn't know if I had enough to fix it up. At that time, I owed nothing. I didn't owe a penny to anybody, and I could sleep peacefully at night. It was great. Didn't have a knot in my stomach that you live with if you really stretch out and start to develop like that. But it was that critical to me, so I kind of had to change my whole mindset about debt and comfort levels and go do it. But when it reopened in 1995, it was a big parade down Del Mar, and it's really exciting. And I think that's the first time that the whole metropolitan area really believed that Del Mar was coming back. The one thing we were lacking is a connection to the Metrolink system. And with a cross-county corridor in the works, in the planning stages and all in the 90s, it was real important that we connect and extend the vitality of the loop in the University City out, east into the city of St. Louis, up to the Del Mar Loop Metrolink stop. And I realized it would take something pretty big to do it. Music really brings young people out. They're willing to take chances on edgier areas faster than older people. So, and there was no place in St. Louis in the 2,000 capacity range. A lot of music acts were passing through. They'd go from Chicago to Dallas, or Chicago to Denver, or Kansas City, and we were missing out on a lot of really good music. So by building a 2,000 or 2,300 actually capacity place, that filled that need, that niche, and it was instantly successful. I mean, there are a lot of people that have worked hard on this area and continue to work hard, both people in government and other businesses and all, so I do not want to take, that's kind of the story. Anyway, thanks.